My name is Teacher Virginia and I want to welcome my learners into our grade 5 art and craft term 1 lesson. Our strand is picture making techniques and our substrand is still life drawing. Our specific learning outcomes are: by the end of the substrand, the learner should be able to observe actual and virtual samples of still life composition. Outcome number 2, the learner should be able to define the term still life drawing. And objective number 3, the learner should be able to talk about his own work and that one of others. Our key inquiry questions are: how does one create texture in a drawing? Key inquiry question number 2 is: how do you show value and texture on the forms? How do you show value and texture on the forms? And our key inquiry question 3 is: how do you arrange the fruits when setting up the still life composition? How do you arrange the fruits when setting up the still life composition? Our dear learner, now I want us to go straight into our substrand, and that is the still life drawing. I want to ask ourselves, what is still life drawing? Still life drawing is drawing an arrangement of man-made or natural things. And in our substrand, we are going to draw fruits that are collected from our locality. My learner, you can view the samples of the still life drawn pictures in the slides below. Those are the samples of the still life pictures. They have been drawn by other learners like you. After viewing the slides, I want you now in your groups, you discuss what you have observed within your groups. And as you discuss this, it helps in promoting communication and collaboration, which is one of our core competencies in CBC. So in your groups, my learner, discuss what you have observed in those samples that I have just shown you above. After this now, I want us now we go into our drawing, and this is how we should go about it. When you are drawing a still life composition, you should arrange one fruit in front of the others, and this helps to hide the parts of the fruits that are behind. This creates an overlap. You can view our slide there. You see how the fruits are arranged. Some fruits are behind, and there is one big one that is in front. I want us now to know how you draw a still life composition to fit within your paper. So you can draw your composition to fit within your paper in a horizontal or a vertical layout. The horizontal layout is also called a landscape, and the vertical layout is known as portrait. And therefore, my learner, I want you now to know that when you are shading items in still life composition using smudge technique, it is important to consider the direction of the light. When light falls on the object, it creates light and dark effect known as value. And value is one of the 4 elements of art that you should look at anytime you are drawing a still life composition. So I want us to go straight into the 4 elements of art that you should always consider when you are drawing. And our element number 1 that we can apply is called line. Line is a mark that is made on a surface by a moving object, and these lines can be joined to create various shapes. For example, you can join two horizontal lines and a vertical one. You come up with the shape of a rectangle or a square. Our element number 2 is value, and value is the light and dark areas on an object, and it is created by how light falls on the object. I know my runner, you have ever seen a drawing either in a magazine or in any other area where a picture has one side that is very dark and another side that is lighter. That is referred to as value. Our element number 4 is called texture. And texture is the surface quality of an object described as either rough or smooth. So if any fruit is smooth or rough, or if any drawing appears to be smooth or rough, that element that has been used there is called texture. The last one we are going to look at is called form. And form is the detail within the boundaries of a shape, and it gives us volume and solidarity. I want us now, my runner, to look at the principles that are used to organize the 4 elements, and these principles are rhythm and movement. This is the arrangement of objects to create distance and depth within an artwork. Our principle number 2 is balance. Any moment you are drawing, make sure that you have a state of equilibrium of the visual weight in a composition. So make sure your drawings are balanced. Our principle number 3 is proportion. And proportion is the size relationship of objects within an artwork with each other and the whole composition. So any drawing that you're going to make, you should ensure that it has proportion. Our runner now, I want us now to look at what do you need so that you can create a still life composition. 1, you need a drawing paper or a book. Number 2, you need a pencil. Number 3, you also need a sharpener. You need an eraser. You also need a piece of cotton wool or a tissue. Now these are the steps that you should follow to create your still life composition. Number 1, choose 3 fruits or more, then arrange them and place them on a table, and remember they should be near the source of light, e.g. near the window. You can view the slide there. You have now your 3 fruits or your 4 fruits. You can now arrange them in a nice way, like the ones we have arranged there for you. Number 3, you should take your paper and draw a frame, and that is how a frame is drawn. So anytime you within your book or within your paper, make sure before you start drawing, you draw a frame. Number 4, you can draw a faint line at the center of the page, and this helps to create balance. So the thick lines that you have drawn are called axis lines. And step number 5, using the faint lines, you can draw the shape of the banana or the bigger fruits, and you should balance it from the axis. You should repeat the same to draw the other shapes of the fruits. So my runner, I want you to get back into your groups, and I want your reader to take a paper or a book. You work together and draw the frame, draw the axis line, and then use very faint lines to draw the shape of a banana. So we can go into our groups and do that task. And as you do this task, I want all of you to communicate. I want you to participate. No one should be quiet. You should all communicate and collaborate. As you do this, you are also promoting a competency known as self-efficacy. I believe you have done that in your groups. So now we can go to step number 6. And step number 6 is draw. Draw by darkening the outline of the drawn shape by placing your pencil, and then you erase the axis line. So the fruit that you have drawn, and that was the banana, now from the faint lines, you can now darken the lines. And you can see the slide there, the lines are now darkened. Now we can go to step number 7. You shade the fruits using smudge technique to show the light and the dark areas. So my runner now, the fruit that we have drawn there, that is the banana, you smudge or you shade it using the smudge technique, and you show some areas to be light and other areas to be dark. And this creating of light and dark effect is what we said is known as value. You can now view the slide down here. So my runner, we continue. We are now in step number 8. Continue shading to make them appear round and real. Shading the shapes make them have volume. And using the lines, it helps to add details, e.g. the rough surfaces. You can now use a cotton wool to smudge the smooth parts. Now my runner, adding the rough and smooth surface details helps to create texture. And the use of lines, shapes, texture and value in the composition has created our 3 forms. And that is the apple, the banana and the orange. My runner, now we are almost coming to the end of our lesson, and I want you to take this as your homework. Draw your own still life composition using the fruits that you have in your home. And you can like, subscribe and also share this lesson so that others can also learn from it. Thank you and God bless you.